think we're all set. Let's play the video game. If you have like 20 projects you need to do, you'll be fine once you start working on them. Okay, you just need to get back in the groove. Yes, but to get into the groove, you can start working on one. Oh, how's the volume on this? All right, this shouldn't take too long. This hopefully shouldn't take too long. Shouldn't I saw the paintings was like, there's more? No, I mean, I threw the paintings in as like just a side thing, more as like a structural integrity thing to the box. I mean, I wrapped them up and made them nice, but yeah, okay, that would have scared me too. You need to get back into the groove to work on them, and to get back into the groove, you need to work on them. Yeah, pretty much. All right. Let's do this. Yeah, no, I know. She thought it was only the paintings. Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Yeah, no, that would be silly. I would send it in a much smaller box. I'm glad the paintings made it intact. Those I weren't as much, like, I wasn't worried as much about those, honestly. Sussy. Hello, Rose Valentinus? Tinus? How you doing? Alright. I loom too much when I play this game. So, well, I don't need, like, good. I'm glad she's happy and she says thank you, but, like, I'm just here to see if it got there safely. That's it. The rest is, like, extra frosting. Hi, Master Business. How you doing? Today you are gassy. I've had those days. I am not gassy today. I'm neutral. More or less. I don't want the diabetes. Okay. I'm very coffee today, sorry. It was one of those days where gas hit you in a specific spot. It made you feel like you're having organ failure. Oh, I hate... Okay, I don't get that much. I've gotten them maybe 3 or 4 times in my life. Where you get gas cramps in like just certain areas that they just like they double you over because it hurts so much. And like the first time I was like, oh, I'm dying. I was like, well, I guess this is it. And then I farted a whole bunch later, and I was like, oh, it's gas. And that's, you know, that's how I figured that out. Yes, oh good, yeah, I could post all the stuff. I forgot about that. I will, do that after stream. I'll post one. Hi, Kangaroo, how you doing? Your pink matches my emote, which is really adorable. How it felt when your you had your appendix taken out? My grandfather had his removed, so I've always been a little extra alarmed if it hurts, like, in the lower, is it right area? I was like, oh god, it's my appendix, I'm gonna die. I was eating peanuts, and I stopped eating them because they're kind of... There's a lot of bad ones in there. 14 years ago? Alright. Cottage. Yeah, so that one makes me a little concerned, but... You know, whatever. I bought them because I was like, oh, I'll eat some. Sometimes I grab a few of his and I'll munch on them. And I was like, oh, I'll get me a bag this time. And I keep getting like gross ones. I don't know. I need to find a better brand, I guess. You had yours out when you were a teen? What were like the symptoms? Was there anything specific where you're like, oh yes, this is definitely, I need to go to the hospital kind of thing? Because I'm afraid that if for some reason my appendix goes bad, I'm gonna be too much of a dumbass and be like, well, this hurts, I'll just power through it, and then I die. Which I don't want. Okay. I mean, they might be expired. I should check. I didn't check the bag. I'll try not to die. Oh, I don't have scram. What am I doing? Lots of nausea. That was so quick. But I want to become famous. I want to buy viewers and followers and primes on my followz.com. Damn it. Yours was a cute, like it was, okay, it was actually concerning. No, don't unban. No, no, no. No, let me just be sassy. You're gonna make breakfast and then see if you're willing to bully yourself into working on a project. Okay, good luck, Rasta. You'll be lurking? Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. You are bought and paid for. Yes. I saved, right? Did I save? I saved, right? I know what acute means. I'm gonna assume I saved. Okay, I don't know if I saved. Hold on. God damn it. Yeah, I'm doing it again because I have no recollection if I did it or not. Also, I have to put Scram back on because this is just tedious. Did everyone who cares see the Overwatch 2 alpha crap that came out? Okay, I think I did save, but there you go. Ah, shit. Look, I just want to get to Exta, please. Let me get to Exta! Oh my god, alright, fine. I don't want to use my magic, but I don't want to use that either, so... Take me on the way! Okay. Hello, I would like to try to fight you again, X-Death. What a nerd. He's a big evil tree. I am. I'm here to beat you up really badly. You have killed all my friends. You inadvertently killed all my dragon friends. No, I refuse to believe the Moogles are dead. They were just sucked into the rift. They're okay. No. We don't know that. Hi, John Bart. How you doing? This is pretty. This is nice. I always like it when the heroes get powered up by cheering and friendship and love and dead ones. Dead loved ones. Yeah, Calv. Yes. Like Sailor Moon! It's cheesy. But it's so nice, the power of love and friendship, and I need that shit in my life. Alright. I'm gonna beat you up so much after I heal myself. Okay. Thank you. Fuma. Oh, I should have bought some more shurikens. Oh well. Do a meteor? Yes. Just hyperspeed this. This gives me reflect. Hi, Interest, how you doing? Heal. Just attack you. It is. Haha! Oh, you didn't cast that stupid white hole on me. Ferris is a knight with a rapid fire on. She's a knight. Then I too can disappear. I mean, I feel you. God, I'm so nervous. Huh. Oh, shit. No stress. Just hoping for the best. Figured I'd try. Okay. But I don't know who casts what. I just kind of wanted... I tried to make it so I can attack everyone, not at the same time, obviously, but as much as I can. Also, I think I need to kill that bottom dude first. If he's the one that just keeps casting Meteor. Unless it's just a thing that gets happened. Ugh. Oh god. Is everyone alive? Oh my... Ow. How many elixirs do I have? Thank you. Thank you. OJ, I was gonna say mods. Thank you! Also, I can't really look at chat that much right now because I'm really trying not to die, so. But it is very much appreciated. Also, I have so much money because I tried to job level a bit and I killed little specky things, little dots. And they give you 150,000 gold. I need to heal. God, I'm so... Shit. 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 It is a lot of money. How do you unberserk someone? This is horrifying and I need to get control of my characters. Please. He's shaking. Okay, you can't shake. That's not allowed. Ferris, I need you to knock her. Thank you. Alright, you know what, Barts? Live your best life. Freaking... Just go at it. Attack them all. Yeah, I wish I had that kind of money in real life. Oh, okay. Oh, fuck. Yeah, people are gonna die. Okay, Bart's is not insane anymore, though, so that's okay. I'm okay with this. Alright, I think I need to concentrate on that. The butt, dude. Oh my god, that hurts so much. Yeah, when they die, they go back to their, they go back to their, like, base clothing, freelancer. Okay, I need you guys to be fast, so... Stop it, shithead. Maybe a little Bahamut, a little going fast. Okay, Ferris, you don't have Mighty Guard. And now you don't have haste. Sure. I didn't need that. I killed the butt. Yes! The butt is dead. What do you mean they're in chaos? Don't stop it. Oh! Please, please don't kill me. I did it! Yes! Fuck you! See, you just had to kill the butt. Okay. See? Disintegrated. Jesus. Swipe that ass. Yes, thank you. Also, hi St. Clair. Nice emotes. Edutech Butt Slayer? Yes, thank you. Long live the butt. In the beginning, there was only the void. But from the void came 4 essences. They formed the crystals and the world was born. Hope blessed the earth. Courage blazed with flame. Devotion turned water into the seeds of life. Passion for knowledge spread wisdom on the winds. If ever the void threatens to engulf the world, so long as the 4 essences still exist in mankind, light will be born anew. It is from the void that the 4 essences will rise, and once again they will shine bright. The void's still here. But why? We beat X-Death. Is it because the crystals are all gone? Will the void be engulfed by the void? Will the world be engulfed by the void? Wow, no. Hope, bless the earth. Courage, light the fires. Devotion, breathe life into the waters. Passion, spread knowledge on the winds. Yay! The library's back. The Moogles come back? Bart's hometown is back. Okay. The starting Lena's castle? The world is being reborn. Zoom. And the crystals as well. There was still power left in the crystal shards. Thank goodness. Lena, Ferris, Crow. because you took such good care of the shards. You did a pretty good job yourself, Bartz. Don't forget Grandpa. Now the wind will return to Tycoon. Correct, my dear. Dad. Grandpa. Father. Papa. Kelger. Zizat. The world still needs you. It's far too soon for you kids to be joining us. Go, return to your world, the one you saved. Oh, bye. I guess so. The wagon. Crystal. See, we didn't get sucked into the void. That's good. I half figured this game was gonna kill us all, you know? Grandpa! The letters arrived. Dear Sid and Mid, how are you? It's me, Kryle. Somehow we made it back alive. My home sweet home. Final battle feels like it was just a bad dream. No one died.
Yes, Muggles.
Since then, I've traveled all over. Everything seems so peaceful now, like it was before. The Chancellor of Tycoon seems quite happy. Isn't it pretty? Somehow we got Ferris in a dress. However, Ferris seemed worried about her pirate crew. That's better. Everyone in Bal is worried, since they have no heir to the throne. Lizard Mool came in! He'll take care of it. Maybe I'll be queen. Yeah, in my dreams. But it'd be pretty cool, though. I don't know who's talking, so everybody, it's whatever voice. Okay, I think it's Bart's. Bart's went back to his hometown. He's not giving up traveling, but he said he wanted to spend time near his parents before he set out again. Oh my god. That is an alarm. These are alarmingly large eggs. Oh, Boko and Coco had their chicks. Baby chocobos are the cutest. You simply must go see them. Oh my god, no. Oh, wiggly butts. So cute. Oh. It's been a year since then. Okay, this is her. Lana and Ferris are busy running Tycoon and Bart is off on another of his journeys. I think I'll go back to that place, to where Grandpa's resting. If any of the others happen to drop by, no, I'm sure they'll come. Tell them I can't wait to meet up again. Sorry, I had no idea this was Kryle writing. Kryle, you did an outstanding job. You all did. Turtle time. Whoosha! Ferris, the most beautiful man I've ever seen. Bart's. Bleh. Lana. No, that's so sad. I hate this part. Ferris. Yeah, kick his ass. Sound alert idea? No, I'm not a room. I'm in a room. Kryle. Now you live in a world with two worlds merged together. Everything is different. Aww. If Grandpa hadn't saved me back then. The crystals have been restored, and everything's peaceful, but for some reason I'm sad. I guess it's just that since Grandpa died, I've been all alone. Oh. No, this part's sad. I teared up at this. It's the main theme of Final Fantasy. See you, Grandpa. What are you talking about? You're not alone. We were hiding in the trees. We're here with you! In the tree! Buck up, kiddo! Oh my god. Everyone's here! You all made it! As if there was any doubt. Like I'd forget about a friend after everything we went through. Everyone, you... There's no need for tears, Cryo. This is the time to be strong. If Galif were here, he'd laugh at your blubbering, kiddo. You're right. He's probably laughing right now. The crystals have regained their power. This time, it's up to us to protect them. Like Dad and the others did. Say, do you hear that? That I do. Grandpa's voice? No, just the wind blowing through the trees. Or the rippling of water. Or the crackling of a fire. Or the shifting of the earth. Dunno. I'm not sure what it is, but... I can hear it. Yes, it feels warm somehow. Yay! Let's go. Wow. Oh, they all go back together. That's really nice. Babies! Lots of different babies. Well, that was sweet. Usually all the party members, you know, dissipate. Well, that was always her dragon. Lana abandons her kingdom. So does Kryle. No one has a ruler anymore. Anarchy and chaos ensue. I know, that's fine. That was cute. That was sweet. Oh. I forgot how long Final Fantasy endings are, so this has been a lot longer than 20 minutes, sorry. But hey, I beat another Final Fantasy. It's not just 6 and 7. I have beaten 5. Technically I beat 4, but it was the 3D DS remake. Finally. Oh. Thank you. 7, 6, 7, 5, 4. 4 whole Final Fantasies. I'm almost beaten 9 like a million times. Almost beaten Tactics a few times. I just never beat the games. I don't know why. The last boss was a big butthead. That's okay though. I appreciate the challenge. And I didn't want to overgrind because that's no fun either. It's a cast leaf. Ah. I said 3 and then I was like, and then the 3D remake of 4 on the DS. I don't know, some people might not count that. That's all. Eventually I want to circle around and play like Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3. I figure maybe I'll do it on stream. That way I have visual proof that I beat the games. I played and beat them. No. There we go. Good. Good. One would be good after Chrono Cross? It's actually a good idea. You know, maybe I'll keep that in mind. Maybe I'll do that. Because I don't have anything planned after Chrono Cross. Wonder how the 4 Heroes of Light fit in the numeric Final Fantasy? What is this? Okay. There is for this 5? I know 4 has the 4 has like a sequel that apparently is really bad. If I have no idea about 5. I'm assuming my rankings for Final Fantasies. Number 1 is 6, number 2 is 7. Well, I mean, are we talking about games the Final Fantasies I've beaten or ones I've played? Because it would be 6 is number 1, obviously. 7 is number 2. I'd say for 3rd place, Tactics and Final Fantasy 9 are tied. I just never beat them. If I had to choose between those, I'd probably say Tactics, then 9. I haven't... Technically, I played like an hour of Final Fantasy X. I didn't have a save. I didn't have a memory card at the time. But I've seen 10 played, and I feel like I really would enjoy it, but I haven't played it, so I can't really count that for anything. I played 12 once, got to the end, never beat it, but I really enjoyed it. But I don't feel like I could rank it with anything right now. I did not like 8 or 13. 4, I don't remember anything about playing it. But I've seen enough speedruns of it to know the story, and it's okay. Enjoy your dinner. Descendants? Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't know there was anything for 5. I'll have a snack while this goes on. There we go. We'll have some more suspicious peanuts. Okay, this one's okay. Oh, I completely forgot about 5. So it'd be 6, 7, Tactics 9, then I'd say 5. But it's hard, like... I don't know, like, I like 5. It was very enjoyable. Like, Final Fantasy 9 and Tactics, I feel like, kind of are tied. And so is 5. I put them all 3rd place. There you go. To be fair, I don't have nostalgia, like, kick me in the face with playing 5, so I didn't... I played 5 when I was 14, but I don't remember it. You know? I turn on 6, and suddenly I'm, like, a kid again, and I'm like, oh, my favorite characters, where's Sabin? Or, you know? I play 7, and I'm like, where's Sephiroth? He's so hot! You know, I have a whole thing with that. Bare bones? Mm. Yeah, I don't expect Final Fantasy 1 to be... I mean, it's the first Final Fantasy, so... Special thanks to Hironobu Sakaguchi. Naofumi Takuma, Toshio Akiyama, Yosuke Matsuda, and Square Enix. Japul Small? What, for 1? They were just starting. That was their, technically, that was their actual Final Fantasy. Alright. Ah, I did it! To the fans across the globe, both past and present, and to the crew who brought the originals to life, we offer our profound and heartfelt thanks. No, thank you. Where's our sexy lady? Let's go. Oh. Cryo. Oh, stats! Whoa! Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry, Cryo. Let's see, Ferris. I learned a few things. Not enough, but a few. I tried. Yeah, Miss Gilgamesh. Lena. The throwing the gill toss is a great skill at the end. Darts. The end. Aye aye. Thank you. Oh. Do save complete? Yeah, yes. We'll do it on there you go. I did it. I beat Final Fantasy 5. Hi Pups, how you doing? The world champion. Yes, it is me. Oh. Okay. I kicked her butt. And now we move. No. We don't need to look at the bestiaries. I definitely didn't get nearly everything. The bad one, Vito! It's not the bad one. How's my day going? My day's going pretty good. Oh, hold on. Want to see something cute? Hold on. There you go. Oh, isn't that cute? The focus is somewhere over here. I don't know. Ta-da. And some phones. Okay. Well, thank you for lurking. Good luck on the phone stuff. Oh. There you go. Want to see my desk? Anyway. Isn't that nice? No, I bought it. I bought this from an artist in, like, the Philippines or something. I don't even know. It's a treat. Treat for myself because I thought it was super pretty. I could have like, yeah, but then people would be like, make me one, and I'm like, I can't. That's not. I don't have that skill. Sorry. So, no, I didn't get an Etsy. I got it from a specific site that I couldn't find at the time. So I just linked Etsy so people could see at least what I was talking about, you know. Humble streamer points. Well, thank you. It is the solar system. I asked you to clean these up because she was going to throw them away or something. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Alright, so Chrono Cross. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick, and then we'll start Chrono Cross. Stay. I just peed. I have to hide it again, damn it. A little too fast for you guys. Is that my I can't say the word. Why can I not pronounce this word? Maori? Why? Whatever. I got this from, I also hi Neon Coffee Cat. I got this from Leonidas. He's from New Zealand. So he gave me all the info about it, and I completely forgot because brain no work. But it was sculpted? What was this? Carved? It was carved there and it sold at a nice little shop. So, wow, you guys scared me. So, when Leonidas shows up, I can ask him again, and he can tell me. Sorry. Okay. Yes, me very scared. Actually, I do react. Like, jump scares do get me. I'm the big weenie with the jump scares. Alright, Chrono Cross. If you guys were here for Final Fantasy V, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching me struggle to beat this stupid poopy face. There you go. Let me just fix this real quick. Sorry, guys. Me. This guy gifted you a sub in his channel and you love his own emotes? What is this? Oh my god. There's so much going on in that emote. Holy crap. It's so small that I was just like, what is this man doing and why is it an emote? Alright.